if I believed that Islam as a faith or a religion was incapable of reinterpretation, I could not have integrity as a Muslim. I would have to leave the religion. But I don't believe that, because it's one thing how the practitioners of a religion on the whole behave is obviously a demonstration of what they believe, but it is not a demonstration of what is possible. And so, for example, most Muslims don't even know, Bret, that the Quran, Islam scripture, contains 3 times as many verses calling on Muslims to think, ask questions, analyze, rethink, and decide for themselves than verses that tell us to just submit to this or that. 3 times as many verses. Most Muslims have, and I'm talking about globally now, have never been exposed to the idea that I picked up at the public library, namely that Islam has its own tradition of independent thinking, of creative reasoning and dissent and debate, and yeah, reinterpretation. It's a tradition known as ijtihad, not jihad, although even that word does not mean violence. It's the connotation that militants have given it that now conjures up violence in our heads. But ijtihad is all about struggling with the complexity of the world. And there are plenty of, again, power-hungry theologians. Some would say that's a redundant phrase, I know, but power-hungry theologians who would argue that, the Irshad Manjis of this world would like you to believe that that ijtihad is open to all Muslims. But no, it's not. You need a certain amount of scholarship. And even lesser known scholars have pointed out that the one right under the umbrella of ijtihad that all Muslims have is to decide for themselves what scholars to follow. So that those scholars who argue that ijtihad is something that all Muslims need to exercise and have both the responsibility and the right to exercise, one can choose to follow those scholars, not simply the louder, more institutionally backed who hang on to their power by telling us you cannot think for yourself, right? So all of this is simply to say that the fact is that it is we Muslims who need reform. And in reforming ourselves, we thereby reform Islam. But Islam itself has the raw materials to overcome what has been abused in its name. I'll just finish up by saying something that, I remember when Bill Clinton was president, and more than once I heard him say, and I was pretty young at the time, and I was struck by this, that there is nothing wrong with America that cannot be fixed by what is right with America. And I must tell you that that is exactly how I view my relationship with Islam.
Beautiful.
Aha.